Active and passive voices. What is an active voice? An active voice means a sentence has a subject that acts upon its verb, meaning the subject is the focus of the sentence. Example, beautiful giraffes roam the savannah. In this sentence, the subject is beautiful giraffes and the object is the savannah. What is a passive voice? A passive voice means the subject is the recipient of a verb's action. In other words, the object is the focus of the sentence. How to change from an active to a passive voice? Passive voice is formed or made up of verb to be plus the past participle form of the verb. Forms of verb to be are is, are, am, was, were, be, been, and being. We should also take into consideration that subject pronouns must be changed into object pronouns. The basic rule in changing an active voice to a passive voice is maintaining the tense. Let's practice. Whenever I am changing to a passive voice, the first thing I have to do is replace the subject by the object. This means that the object becomes the subject. In this sentence, beautiful giraffes roam the savannah. The savannah is the object, so in the passive voice, it becomes the subject. If I want to reveal the doer or who did the action, I simply put the subject as an object and add by before it. And if I want the doer to remain anonymous, I simply cross it out. Let's start. By beautiful giraffes. Now for the verb. The verb here is roam. As I said before, changing to a passive voice means changing the verb to its past participle form. The past participle form of roam is roamed, and now I simply have to add the suitable verb to be. Since this sentence has a simple present tense, I have to maintain the same tense. This means that I have to use a suitable verb to be. So the suitable form of verb to be is or are. Am is only used when I use I, so I simply use is or are. Since the savannah is singular, this means that I should use the verb to be is. So changing beautiful giraffes roam the savannah to a passive voice becomes the savannah is roamed by beautiful giraffes. Let's practice with another tense. The doctor is treating the patients. Where is the object here? The object is the patients. And where is the subject here? The doctor. So the object becomes the subject, the patients. And let's keep the doer anonymous this time. So we're not going to add the subject at the end. We should change is treating to its past participle form. The past participle form of treat is treated. Now we have to use the suitable verb to be. The suitable verb to be here, whenever I see patients, this means that it's plural. So I have to use are. So the patients are. But since we have here ing and the main thing in changing to a passive voice is maintaining the tense, I should use an ing instead. And I cannot say the patients are treated, so the patients are being treated. I use a supportive verb here, which is being, to maintain the tense and to make the sentence right. Okay, let's move on. The students have played this game. In this sentence, the object is this game and the subject is the students. So I first start with swapping the subject and the object. So this game becomes the subject and by the students become the object. Next, I have to change the verb is past participle form, and I have to maintain the tense, which is the present perfect tense. The past participle form of the verb play is played, and maintaining the tense means I have to use the present perfect tense. This game is singular, so I cannot use have. I must use has and as a supporting verb, I have to use been to maintain the tense. So the sentence in the passive voice becomes, this game has been played by the students. Okay, so let's continue. The man cut the tree. Again, the first step I have to do whenever I am changing to a passive voice is making the object a subject. So here the tree is the object and the man is the subject. This makes the tree the subject. If I want to reveal the doer, I can simply add by the man at the end, and if I want the doer to remain anonymous, I can simply cross it out. Cut. The tense here is past simple because the man has already cut the tree, but cut is an irregular verb, so it stays as it is in its past and past participle form. So I have here cut. Since the tense here is past simple, I have to maintain the tense. The tree was or were. Since the tree is singular, I simply use verb to be was. The tree was cut. I can say the tree was cut or the tree was cut by the man. On with more exercises. The boys were helping the man. The man here is the object and the boys is the subject. So, again, the first step to do is to make the object as a subject, the man. I'm not going to add the subject here. Let's keep the doer anonymous. So here is the verb. The tense here is past continuous, so I have to maintain the tense. The past participle form of the verb helping is helped. And to maintain the tense, I simply add was or were plus being. Since the man is singular, I simply use was plus being to maintain the tense. So the passive form of this sentence is the man was being helped by the boys or was being helped without revealing who the doer was. Let's try practicing changing object pronouns to subject pronouns and vice versa. Here in this sentence, he had given me a bouquet. He is the subject and me is the object. Whenever I want to know the object, I simply ask myself on who was the action done. So here the action was done on me, so me is the object. Changing the object to a subject changes me to I, and changes he to by him. Now for the verb. The verb here is in the past perfect tense. So to maintain the tense, I simply have to add the past participle form of the verb. I had been given, and I simply add a bouquet here to make the sentence clear. So I had been given a bouquet by him. Okay, for the final sentence, I will do the dishes. Basically here, I is the subject and the dishes are the object. So the object becomes the subject, the dishes, and in this sentence, let's keep the doer anonymous. I don't want anyone to know that I was doing the dishes. So let's change will do to the passive voice. So simply do becomes done in its past participle form, and I simply maintain the verb, but the dishes will done doesn't make any sense, so it needs a supporting verb here, which is be. So the passive form becomes the dishes will be done. I hope you understood the lesson clearly, and as they say, practice makes perfect, so keep practicing.